Hey guys, John with Mini Motors USA. Today we're going to be doing a damper install on a Thunder. We've got these new style Errex dampers, which are the highest quality dampers on the market by far. What we like about the new style dampers is they have this cutout, which essentially is going to go right into the scooter, make the install very easy, versus the old style where you had to take the gear nut out and basically take apart the whole headset to put them in. So these new dampers are going to install in about 20 minutes. The tools you need: 4mm Allen, 5mm Allen, 10mm socket, 7 needle nose pliers. We use this stick blue Loctite. You can use the liquid Loctite too. We recommend the blue because you don't need heat if you need to tighten up the grub screws at any time. So let's get started. First step here is going to be to remove this Dualtron sticker on the front. Needle nose pliers can be a little helpful here. Okay, we got that sticker taken off, and then you just want to pull this latch up, and basically the damper, this part we can kind of slide in here. Just slide it down right over the gear nut, and then put the bars down. Then what we're going to do is just snug up one of these grub screws for a second, just to hold it in place. We're going to install this. Take the nut out, the screw, and this is just going to slide right through there onto the gear nut. At this point you can put the bar back up, slide your clamp down, and we're going to be reinstalling this screw now. So you want to make sure your tires are straight, and you want this top piece to be perpendicular to the bars. Okay, so I have this top piece in, this screw through, the nut in there, and we just want to make sure it's locked into place on the gear nut, and then we're going to snug it down a little bit here. So it can be helpful if you have a buddy to kind of hold this down while you tighten this thing up. Make sure when you're tightening this, it's pressed all the way down, and then snug it up the rest of the way. You don't need to be over tight on these things. Okay, once you have this top piece snug down, we're going to put this other black piece in. And your bottom damper isn't tight, but you just push this through. Sometimes they can be a little tight to start. And then you have these two circlips, and we're just going to start these underneath like so. You're going to use the needle nose pliers to just pop this thing into place. Make sure it's locked into this groove underneath there. And we're going to do this for the back as well. Stop. Okay, on this damper you have 4 grub screws which hold the main body to the frame of the scooter. I like to use a little blue Loctite on these. So we're going to back out all the grub screws. Put a little bit of Loctite on them. And then install them back in there. And we just start with these very loose. Okay, we got these grub screws all Loctited up. Now we're just going to basically tighten down the damper. So first step, just make sure everything's in alignment. Loosen the grub screws, make sure it's in line with the scooter, and then we're just going to tighten them up. Just be mindful on this side, when you tighten these screws, the damper is going to want to pull up a little bit on the frame. When it's on this side, you're okay, it's going to pull down. You just want there to be a little bit of space between that top piece and the damper. Sometimes what I do is I'll stick a little index card here on this side between the gear nut and the damper, and then basically pull it up into alignment and then snug down each of these 4 screws. I snug them down loosely to start, and then as you go back into them, just tighten them up gradually. Look at your clearance and just kind of snug them up in a star pattern. Okay, once you got those tightened up, you're good to go. Turn your bars from side to side, make sure there's no play in between the top piece and the bottom piece, and you're all set. You have a little adjustment screw down here, so if you turn it, what is that, counterclockwise, loosens it up. You turn this clockwise, it's gonna really stiffen your steering. So kind of like it somewhere in the meantime. The really nice thing about this damper, it's gonna protect all your wiring because it locks your steering from side to side. It is gonna make the scooter a little bit safer because you can't over rotate the bars. It also is going to kind of prevent some high speed wobbles, just make the steering feel a little bit tighter. They're really nice.